Are you also discouraged by My Hero Academia, and you can't stand seeing Deku screaming anymore? Then this video is for you. So guys, how are you? I hope you are well. I am the Monio, the interdimensional demon who talks the most about My Hero Academia on YouTube, and you are on my channel. This video is a quick reflection on the last arcs of My Hero Academia, and how the episode revealing the traitor exemplifies very well how the series is losing the public's interest and excitement in my opinion, and I will comment on the possible reasons. Let's start. The 7th season of My Hero Academia has begun, and after the Star and Stripe episodes, which were really cool, it's a shame that she dies. But anyway, we reached the fateful episode in which it is revealed who the UA traitor was. And to you who made theories saying it was Kaminari, take this plot twist in your face. It was actually Aoyama. And this episode makes me reflect on something that has been happening to My Hero Academia since the last season, which is its wear and tear. First, we have a scene where Aoyama is in the forest with his parents, which isn't smart at all, since they are talking out loud about something that is extremely dangerous and confidential, but the secret is revealed, and then the invisible girl warns Midoriya. He arrives at the scene and then arrests Aoyama and his parents. We then have a scene in which all the UA teachers find out about the betrayal, and Midoriya, for a change, does a super dramatic scene in which he screams while crying and talking to Aoyama, and at that moment the series management is trying their best to make the scene emotional and visceral, but to be quite honest, I couldn't connect with that scene. I didn't find it exciting, and everything seemed very forced, especially Midoriya, who was always a character that seemed much more dramatic to me than the situations he's in demanded, and that's because in my opinion, Midoriya is a problem. Well, Midoriya's big problem for me is that he's very generic, in the sense that he doesn't have enough of his own characteristics to make him more unique. He's not particularly charismatic like Goku, for example, nor does he have characteristics of personality that makes him unique. Midoriya follows the cliché of the polite Japanese character, as he is always friendly to everyone, asks for permission and thanks all the time. If we compare Midoriya with another protagonist who has a similar personality, like Tanjiro from Demon Slayer for example, we can see that Tanjiro has unique characteristics, such as his enormous kindness and empathy. And this empathy Tanjiro shows even towards his enemies. If I asked you to describe Tanjiro's personality, you would probably tell me that he is a kind, loving, sensitive character who is genuinely good and believes that good will win. But the Monio, so you're telling me that Midoriya doesn't have any characteristics? No, I'm not, because Midoriya does have many characteristics. For example, he is very hardworking and has a strong desire to make his dream come true. The problem is that these are personality traits that are already present in the archetype of the shonen protagonist. It's as if they used the protagonist's template to create Midoriya, and his personality boils down to what already comes as standard. And this for me is very strange, since My Hero Academia has great characters, like Mirio, who is very charismatic, and Shoto Todoroki, who has very interesting internal conflicts, especially at the beginning of the story. In addition to that, Shoto also has a very typical superhero background, something involving some tragedy or childhood trauma, and even though Midoriya has good moments in the story, like the moment when he encourages Shoto to use all his power, it's still little when you compare him to good protagonists, and by having these other cool characters in the story itself, it makes me think that this is not a problem with the script, but something intentional. Maybe the author's idea is to build Midoriya little by little, or maybe you just don't like Midoriya. And as I watched the episodes with Star and Stripe, I thought about what a cool and interesting character she was, and how her power is creative and has the potential to do incredible things. And then I think about Midoriya, who technically should be an interesting character, since he is the protagonist of the series, but he has no charisma. He is not an engaging character in my opinion. But the problem isn't just Midoriya. The previous seasons of My Hero Academia already had him, and they were better. They were more involving and engaging. For example, the moment at the party at UA where everyone is trying to cheer Eri up, and then you can smile. It's a very emotional moment, in which you can connect with the moment and the joy of the characters. Another thing that I think really wore down the story of My Hero Academia were the villains, and not because they are necessarily bad, but their motivation is always something related to changing society, or proving that the heroes are not worthy of protect people, but it is always something aimed at some kind of revolt with society. And don't get me wrong, at first they are interesting motivations, but the way it is executed becomes very tiring in the long run, as they are very abstract motivations. There is nothing practical that they would supposedly do to achieve their goals, and if they achieved, maybe not even they themselves would know what they were going to do after that, and that's why I liked what they did with Shigaraki. He became a more interesting character as he broke away from these more standard ideals than the others villains had, and he became an increasingly chaotic character, and detached from any ideal, and that was interesting, but I don't think that was enough for me to maintain interest over time. Everything that happened in the story over time made the hype diminish, and I started to notice that many patterns were repeating themselves, especially the clichés, since My Hero Academia is well known for having many clichés, however well executed. But maybe the anime and manga at some point became repetitive in their way of dealing with the clichés and the formula that is used in fighting shounens, because My Hero Academia has never been something so innovative in terms of story. The powers are cool, they're creative, the origin story of One for All and the way it works is very interesting, but the entire structure of the story and characters makes these clichés become increasingly frequent and repetitive. At least that's the perception I have. When I watched these last arcs of the My Hero Academia anime, I wasn't very excited anymore, and I lost interest little by little, and I didn't even understand why, and what I think happened is the set of everything that I talked about in this video. But remember that what I'm saying is just my opinion, just my point of view. If you're still engaged with the story of the anime or manga, or if you disagree with me for any reason, no problem, leave your opinion in the comments. I would really like to read other people's opinions, whether you disagree with me or not. You who have followed My Hero Academia since the beginning, are you still excited? Do you think that interest in the anime and manga has decreased? Leave it in the comments, and subscribe to follow the next videos. Until next time my people, demonic hugs.